Each year, Microsoft Research hosts hundreds of influential speakers from around the world, including leading scientists, renowned experts in technology, book authors, and leading academics, and makes videos of these lectures freely available.
Here we go. Hi, nice folks at home. I'm going to commit a heresy, and I'm going to talk about what I now know to be the Christian rock problem. And I'm going to suggest that the Christian rock problem is, in fact, not just serious, but intractable. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Clay Shirky. I teach at the Interactive Telecommunications program at NYU. I'm sorry. I thought you'd done the introductions. Of course, I was spacing out while I was getting my slides up. I want to suggest that the modes of user interface and social interaction that are being pioneered in virtual worlds are not, in fact, going to be broadly portable to other domains, and that, in particular, the ability to transfer those directly to the world of work is going to be highly limited. That's an argument with a lot of moving parts. I'm just going to make one right now, and it is economic and follows to some degree on what Dan was talking about. Ever since Ted Castronova's path-breaking work on comparative economies of virtual worlds, we have known for sure that real-world players put real-world value on virtual goods. This is often restated in calculations as virtual goods have real-world value, which seems like a tautological restatement of the original research, but in fact subtly invites the reader to ignore the player's motivations. And in particular, what it does is it elides the distinction between productive and participatory value. That may be best illustrated this way. Here's a site of productive value. This is an assembly line. If I was told that there were 50 cars here and $1 million of value on the lot, I could conclude that if I could break in and steal a car, I would get away with $20,000. And I could conclude that because the trivial math is the correct math, and because this is a site of productive and extractive value meant to be relatively context insensitive. A car is valuable in lots of places. There are not particular domains in which cars are valuable, and only in those domains. Here's another site of value. It's a poker game, right? This is not a site of productive value. You can imagine, say, a high-stakes poker game down at Benny Binion's or something. I mean, they'd have to get rid of their ridiculous no dogs policy. But let's imagine that this is a game taking place in Vegas. If you were told that there was $1 million on the table, 52 cards in play, you could then conclude that if you could somehow reach in and snatch a card out of the game, you'd be walking away with something that was worth $20,000. And that's not true, because this isn't a site of productive value. This is a site of participatory value. Removing the card from the game, if you remove the card from the game and walk away with it, the value doesn't stay with the card. And furthermore, removing the card from the game actually disrupts the value of the game. It's because games are conducted in what Eric Zimmerman and Katie Salen have called the magic circle, alluded to earlier. The magic circle is that zone, sometimes physical, sometimes temporal, always mental, that the player steps into to immerse themselves in the game world. And once inside the magic circle, the player is willing to expend energy to solve unnecessary tasks. This is true of solitaire. This is true of Warcraft. This is true of golf. Now, what goes on inside the magic circle is exciting, and even, as we've often heard, addictive. We have Exhibit A in the back, sitting right next to Lily. Hi, Joey. And it's tempting to believe that what's inside the magic circle is so wonderful that if we open up the circle, the magic will get out and infect the world. But in fact, what happens is the world comes in and pollutes the game. Right? That when you break the magic circle, when you try to extract the value, when you try to make it portable, or when you try to take the kinds of behaviors that go on in the game world and apply them to other non-game-like activities, the magic is hard to support. So here's 3 possible theses about the relationship between game design and other areas. One is that games are a normal part of human life. Everyone plays games. And so anything developed to appeal to humans in a game-like environment is going to appeal to humans in other environments. This thesis is the source of a lot of the maximalist rhetoric about the transformation coming from virtual worlds. A related hypothesis is that games are unusual. There's something a little bit odd about sitting in your basement pretending to be an elf. But given the volume of experimentation, we're going to see a significant application of game-like of tools and characteristics created in games moving to other areas. And there's a third thesis. Games are special. In this view, games are not fun because they're designed to be fun. You could apply that same characteristic to, say, mountain biking or cooking classes. Games are fun because they're designed to be games. In this view, games do something very particular in the human psyche, and it is the very characteristics of addictiveness that make the portability low, the portability from the game world to other domains low. In this view, games are really deeply embedded in the human mind, much more so than more recent technological innovations such as, say, agriculture or the written word. All right? So in this view, and this is the view that I'm propounding, what we will see in the next several years with the explosion of work in virtual worlds is more likely to be a deepening than a spread of the kinds of things we know about game environments. Thank you.